How's it going, guys? My name is Eric Yoon. I've been in the Army for 5 years now. Just retired as an infantryman, and today I'm going to be talking about the WWP, the Wounded Warrior Project. So you can see in this picture, this is a veteran that's obviously got his legs blown off. Statistics say that currently right now, 52,000 military vets are wounded. 3,200,000 have traumatic injuries, and 400,000 have PTSD. The VA statistics show that 22 veterans every day commit suicide, according to statistics from 1999 to 2010. That is one veteran for every 65 minutes. Personally, I had two of my buddies who committed suicide. It wasn't all because of war, violence, and PTSD. It was because of financial and family problems. Their wives left them, their wives cheated on them, and they wanted to resort in suicide. So how can we help these type of veterans to feel better about themselves, to have someone with them, and to someone to keep on fighting with them side by side? Well, our mission is to help these kind of veterans gain back into the civilian world and to let them know that there's programs that they don't have to feel that they're left out. Our mission is to help these type of veterans disabled veterans to find jobs, finding therapy. A lot of people have PTSD or even physical and mental therapy, and moral support from our civilians. So we want to help them basically regain control of their lives. We want them to know that the civilian side is actually going to work with them, and our military is very unique to us in our country. This leads to the Wounded Warrior Project. The Wounded Warrior Project is a non-charitable organization. It makes services for veterans to do services, programs, and events for all wounded veteran military. Their main focus is to help wounded veterans get back into the civilian world and start their lives over again. This is one of the programs that the WWP does. It's called the post-war service or post-war relief. So basically what these veterans are doing, they're currently talking about situations and scenarios that they've been through, and they're talking about them fighting in wars and certain battles they fought in and where they're stationed at. Usually there's typically a leader leading this course. It's definitely led by a veteran, so the guys don't have to feel that they're left out or they're talking to some random civilian about war. This is another program that the WWP provides. It's called the Warrior Care Network. It is for basically medical, so any veteran that had amputees, PTSD, and suicide hotline. So the Warrior Care Network also contains a suicide hotline. It's 24 hours. There's always an operator to take and answer for a phone call for these types of veterans who feel like they need to get away from the house, from the wives, feel like doing something stupid, or just feels like they just need someone to talk to. Dude, This is another picture of the Warrior Care Network. So with the WWP, a lot of veterans are improving. As you can see from this picture, a lot of these vets feel like they're better because they are out of war, they find a job, they have good family lives, and they feel better about themselves. So a lot of these veterans can come back to their wives, their husbands, their kids, and their parents, obviously. And this is a short video that DeWalt has sponsored. They sponsor the WWP, and they actually give a lot of their donations or their funding to WWP.
Go get the door. Just tell them to be quiet.
This is a short video.
To our wounded warriors, for He's giving a speech.
And thank you
Class.
for your service
Your sacrifice.
and your bravery. Military service doesn't end when service members return home. Every day, American veterans suffer from injuries, both visible and invisible. DeWalt has partnered with Wounded Warrior Project and will donate a minimum of $250,000 this year from sales of our co-branded DeWalt Wounded Warrior Project tools. It's our way of saluting some of our nation's greatest heroes. To our wounded warriors, you are not alone. You've had our back, and now we have yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. So the next slide. Technical difficulties.
To our wounded warriors.
So how do you get involved? Getting involved, you could do a 5K run. You could host a fundraiser for your community and your school. You could do a give at work, which is you donating money, and then your company will match that, and we'll see if they do. Soldier Ride is it's just like the 5K, but it's more with bikes. And live stream video gaming is just video games, because our veterans like to play video games to cope with PTSD. Donations work for a one-time, a monthly, and a holiday. You can also do company sponsorships, just like DeWalt, to do posts like, a certain amount of funds will go to the proceeds for the WWP. Airborne leads the way, and you guys have any questions? Yeah.
So what can be done for active duty service members to stop them from getting to this point in their lives? And like, how can we help them with out processing and getting out of the military?
So for for active duty soldiers right now that are going through the service right now, how to help them to cope with their service, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Before they get to that point?
Yeah.
I think a good way would be for them to have more programs for active duty members. So they could have programs while they're in service, just like WWP, just have the WWP maybe involved during active duty hours. I think that could help a lot. Question?
Yeah, we think the number one benefit for veterans is that WWP provides.
The number one benefit of WWP, I personally think, is the post-stress relieving program. So the post-war, because a lot of these vets came from the war point of 9/11, so it's like 1999 to like 2010, where they fought, Iraq, Afghanistan, fought in Fallujah, Baghdad, all these crazy areas. And a lot of these veterans, now their ages are around pushing towards like 30 to 40 years old, and they have families, they have spouses. So I think those types of veterans need they need more help for trauma and PTSD and such. Question?
Yeah. So you said you can do a 5K. Like all these various types of activities.
Yeah.
Which of those would you say is probably the most beneficial towards veterans, or are they all equally the same?
I personally think they're all equal the same. I'm pretty sure all of them do fundraising anyways. So I think if you just do one and stick with it, I think you'll be fine. One more question?
And do you live out the Wounded Warrior Project like in your daily life? Or at least keep it like on your mindset of what's going on with your buddies.
Do I keep the Wounded Warrior Project in my mind? Personally, I do have some shirts that are WWP, and also now from doing this presentation and getting involved now, that I personally think about starting my own fundraiser for the school.
So WWP has gone through some controversy in the past. What do you think about that personally?
So I've heard that WWP has gone through some controversy over the past. It's because they had some CEOs were spending a lot of money on luxurious items, going on luxurious vacations and such. But those guys are now fired, and they brought in new people now. So I'm hoping for the best, and it looks like it's improving from statistics from this year. So I think it'll eventually get back to where it was. Okay, guys, that is it for our presentation for WWP. I hope you guys could donate. We're gonna take some donations here over the phone, and obviously the website is www.woundedwarriorproject.org.